Morning, folks. Father Clayton here. I just finished my morning prayer. I'm at the cabin that I frequent. Um, I just saw my dog Rev eat two bees. So that I've never seen before. Learned something new today. Dogs like bees, I guess. And I think it bit him because he did a little fancy dance afterwards, and there's no stopping him once he gets fixated on a bug or something. He's a funny dog. But I just finished my scriptural reading for today, and it was the 10th chapter of the book of Jeremiah. Now, I'm studying the Babylonian exile right now. All priests are encouraged to keep up with their studies and to read scripture and spiritual reading. This is what I'm doing, and I just wanted to share a little bit. In that 10th chapter, Jeremiah is talking about the foolishness of idolatry and how stupid it is. Like, the title is The Folly of Idolatry. And in it, he goes into detail about these idols that the artisans are making for the time. And this is like 550 plus years before Jesus. So a good 2,600 years ago, throughout Israel, throughout the Holy Land, from Egypt all the way to Greece, to Persia. Babylon was in the middle of all that, Iraq, modern day Iraq. But the idea, so paganism was just very common. There was about as many gods as you can come up with. Hundreds and hundreds of gods. Not just Persian, Egyptian, Greek, Roman mythology, but many others in between. Syrian and so forth. And Canaanites, before Israel was there was a lot of paganism there also. So it's commonplace. And the prophets often, throughout the Old Testament, all of them, are constantly reminding the people to stop idolizing false idols. And here's the silliness of it. Some of these idols are just little wooden figures. They are sometimes decorated with silver and gold, and they're sold to they're sold at great lengths. Like, if you go to a flea market and you see trinkets or see little items that are fascinating to people, and there's just tables full. I've been to a lot of flea markets when I was younger, and I often saw a lot of just stuff, trinkets. You go into so I'm in Wisconsin, and near us is the Wisconsin Dells. It isn't hard to go into one of those shops, these tourist shops, and to find something that's cute and a reminder piece of the experience you had with family or whatnot. But that's kind of the setting that Jeremiah is talking about. These people would come through the markets, and they would go to different artisans who had different gods, and they're all little statues, usually figurines, and these were idols, and they had every kind you can think of. If you wanted Apollo, if you wanted Zeus, Hermes, if you wanted, I could go on and on. Any god, you could go to that artisan that made that god, and then you would have that in your home. That's how it kind of worked. Jeremiah is trying to say, yeah, that's so stupid, because that god doesn't walk. That god doesn't eat. Matter of fact, it's lifeless. It's a piece of wood with silver and gold wrapped around it, and it looks pretty. Jeremiah was using those words in a very verbal way, like blunt way. It was quite fascinating. Read the 10th chapter of Jeremiah, and you will see what I mean. But it reminds me of how we might not idolize little trinkets, but there are things in our lives that we idolize, that we value, that to the point of even almost worshiping. Cars, our rides, our possessions can be almost a type of God in a sense of idolizing it. Not that it's God, but if you idolize your brand new dark horse Mustang or your mammoth Hennessy, Ram TRX truck, and it, 100 grand, 120 grand really, and you're just fascinated by it, and you polish it every day, and you want to show it off to everybody, and it just becomes an obsession. that's kind of like an idolizing. That's idol worship. It's a type of idolizing an object made out of metal, glass, and all kinds of materials, plastics. And it becomes the focus of your life. And then, in a sense, because it's the center of your life, you're spending all your money on it. You're showing it off. You're trying to get the ladies or get the guys jealous. That's idol worship. I think we could do less with fancy toys and just have a relationship with the true divine God in His Son Jesus Christ. So think about that. That doesn't mean you can't have fancy things. It just means they can't be the center of your life, and you're idolizing them to the full. Invite Jesus in. He likes the dark horse Mustang. You can ride shotgun. Just don't forget him. God bless.